Welcome to the world's first Straight Talk Solarcast. This is your go-to podcast for answers about solar. Brought to you by Solar Harmonics in Northern California, who invite their customers to own their energy by purchasing a solar panel system for their home, business, or farm. Each episode, we discuss questions facing people making the decision to go solar. The solutions to your questions are given to you straight by one of the leading experts in the solar industry, Jamie Duran, president of Solar Harmonics. Feel free to search our library for answers to questions that you're facing when considering solar. And now, here's Adam Duran, our host with the questions, and Jamie Duran, our solar expert with Straight Talk Solarcast.
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Adam.
How's everything in the land of solar this week?
It is busy, which is great. You know, everyone's starting to think about solar, and it's a big topic in the news and big topic all over. Because I'm in the business, but it seems like everywhere I go, there's people who are I wouldn't say in full panic, but really, really concerned about their electricity rates, whether they have solar or don't have solar, whether they are thinking about a battery, not thinking about it, thinking about a heat pump, not thinking about, there's a lot of people who are, really concerned about their energy costs. And so, we're here to help, here to answer questions. Okay. And, recently I just signed on to the Reddit. I'm sure you're familiar with it, but there's a subreddit called Solar. And anyone who's listening and you're really into solar, you should really check out this Reddit page because it's exactly that. There's tons of people who have every single question about solar and what's happening with it, what's going to happen with it, how are these changes today going to affect my current solar? And there's tons of people looking for advice on they're just about to buy solar or add on to more solar, who they should go with, who should not go with. It's like, you guys, this podcast's here the whole time. Yeah. But it is pretty interesting, and lots of topics out there for us to discuss. So and so one of the big ones I haven't seen on Reddit is, are you familiar with the Ivanpah solar power monstrosity? That's so if you're in California and you drive to Las Vegas, it's in the Mojave Desert, and it's on, from California to Las Vegas, it's on the left side, and you can't miss it. It is a gigantic, huge solar farm, but it's not like regular solar farm where it's just solar panels face south. This one is solar mirrors that concentrate energy and point it at a tower, and that tower heats up water, and the water does something to turn on an electric turbine and create power.
Cool.
Yeah, but looking at it, I was like, this thing it's gigantic, and it's all of these it's like like aliens built it almost, but they didn't. It was just hundreds of millions of dollars that it was built out there. That somebody said, the Mojave Desert is nothing but sun. We need to put out this gigantic solar engine, essentially, and everyone's like, well, there's nothing out there to use the electricity. So when you make a solar farm, it creates electricity during the day, but that electricity must be used immediately. So it's got to be transmitted either to a hospital or a city or, a garbage processing or something, or it needs to be stored in batteries. Otherwise it's lost. And so this gigantic project that was out there, it's about 15 years old, and it's getting shut down now because it just has, as you can imagine, the more complicated things are, as I was saying, solar farms really is just putting solar in the ground, pointing it south, and then collecting the electricity. No moving parts, nothing to maintain really. You just kind of keep watching it, monitoring it, and if it's producing power, that's excellent. And it's supposed to be producing power reliably for 25 years minimum. And so what people are thinking. Electricity rates are expensive now. Just thinking, 25 years, what it's going to be. But yeah, it's received a lot of support. So $1.6 billion loan guarantee from Department of Energy, $535 million grant from the Treasury Department.
Wow.
And it's producing 702,000 megawatt hours, which is pretty good. We could definitely do that with solar, just a really flat solar farm that's out there with probably a third of I don't even know how much it costs, but a lot less now. But it's sad because now this will be something that is pointed to, that here's why solar doesn't work, and here's why it's a problem, and here's how much the government wasted on it. But overall, 2/3 of this solar project were supposed to be, the output's going to PG&E, and then Southern California Edison was supposed to buy the power from the tower number 2, or the second part of it. And so they're not, the utilities aren't so excited about it because they're forced to buy the power, and it is expensive compared to what they can, buy either with hydroelectric or with natural gas. And so that's one of the things that they're pointing to, the utility companies, that because they're forced to buy this power that's really expensive compared to the other things, that's why they can increase rates. So, both PG&E and Southern California Edison want out of the deal, and they are. So this, what is going to happen with this crazy system? Unknown at this point, other than might just disassemble it. And
I think I do know what you're talking about, and I have obviously, if you've been on the way from LA to Las Vegas, you've driven by this, because it's not a look and you've blink and you missed it, right? This is
right.
It's
gigantic. You drive for a couple minutes.
Yeah. It is gargantuan. I thought it was regular solar though, but it's not.
No, it's kind of complicated, and they're calling it. The new administration is calling it the Green Madness National Monument. Awesome. Thank you kindly. And we have once it's disassembled, they could use them for backdrops for the next Planet of the Apes movie. So great, because it's going to be all trashed, and people, I'm sure, are going to be driving into it. Who knows? But it's once it's there, we'll see what happens. But it's that's pretty brutal.
Well, did aliens pay for this thing?
No.
Who paid for this?
I had a bunch of private investors that paid for it. They also received 30% federal tax credit, and then depreciation expense. So bonus depreciation, 50% in the first year. So plus they got this guaranteed rate for the solar power that was produced. So I'm sure everyone got paid back. I'm guessing the Department of Energy and Treasury Department might be last in line, but to get paid back. But with the rates that they're getting paid from the utilities, I imagine that everything's been paid back. But it's still not. They're not really sure what's going on because accounting is a little loose over there. So
what?
But yeah,
that's not the government. I know.
Department of Government Efficiency might be looking into this one, but
oh boy,
yes, there's it's not great for solar, not great for getting any kind of government funding for any kind of big projects like this. But it got pushed through, and it got approved, and they didn't ask us, but I would have definitely. Yeah, but it's 3,471 acres with 347,000 mirrors that are controlled to deliver concentrated sunlight into the 3 towers. So
that sounds totally safe.
Yeah, I would have just recommended. But it's interesting too, because the Mojave Desert it's often referred to the hottest place on Earth, not even
right.
Death Valley out there, and so. And electricity and heat are not friends. So the hotter it gets, the less the electricity flows. So there's a lot more resistance to the electrons. And so it is interesting that, it seems like a no-brainer and that it's always sunny out there, but it's I would have much preferred just a normal solar farm, maybe with trackers, but even then trackers, they can break and they do need maintenance and somebody to fix them when they break. And solar just sits there and the sun moves instead of the solar panels. So that would have been my recommendation. But maybe on the next one, they'll ask me. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's very interesting that this part is not in solar's favor, unfortunately. So, but then that kind of leads into the next topic with both Southern California Edison and PG&E they've rebounded pretty well. And so they are now passing on costs to, we had all these insane fires, and right now there's just one fire that's being blamed on the utility, Southern California Edison. And so even that is really suspect, but there's tons of advertising going on to, hey, if your house got burned down, it's got to be someone else's fault. So let's start suing. And so Southern California Edison is really getting their ducks in a row. But if it's 100-mile-an-hour winds and you have overhead power lines, it's not unreasonable that a power line would fall down. So, but apparently that started one of the big fires, and so the utilities are saying, "Yep, we got to start doing a lot more to mitigate wildfires, and that's going to cost quite a bit." And so they're introducing legislation to start increasing costs to do that wildfire mitigation. So something to watch and something to keep track of. But it looks like that'll be a new fee coming to solar customers and electricity customers everywhere. So, like I said at the beginning, with people really concerned, really upset, it's just, I would say it's going to be a continuing theme as we progress throughout 2025, 2026, and going forward, because it doesn't seem like these fires are going to stop anytime soon. But at least it's raining today, so I'm sure that's helpful for the fires and helpful for, but then it's going to create so much brush and other, time to rake the leaves, Adam. So
you got it.
Yep.
I'll be out there.
All right.
We're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for taking a few more minutes out of your week to learn about solar with us. We've been doing this podcast for going on 6, 7, 8 years now. And there is always something happening in the land of solar. Every week, Jamie does us a solid by staying on top of this stuff so that we don't have to, and we can bask in his expertise is what I was looking for. If you have a question for Jamie for an upcoming episode, you can go to our Facebook page, Straight Talk Solarcast, send us a message through there. If you want to check out a library of our past episodes, go to solarharmonics.com and you can click on the podcast link at the top of the page and you'll be taken to that cornucopia of awesome episodes. If you have a friend considering going solar, this would be an excellent podcast to refer them to. It will save them thousands upon thousands of dollars over the life of their system. What better friend is that? We always ask, and I don't know. Until next time, everyone, see you.
That's all for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Straight Talk Solarcast with solar expert Jamie Duran. Join us each week for more answers to your solar questions. Speaking of questions, got some? Email us at solarcast@solarharmonics.com and we'll be sure to give you an answer in an upcoming episode. This episode of Straight Talk Solarcast is brought to you by Solar Harmonics, the leading solar energy developer in Northern California, who invite you to own your energy. Visit them on the web at www.solarharmonics.com.